So, a question I get asked often is whether or not you should put your prices on your website or your sales page. And there are two schools of thought on this. I'm going to give you a little bit from both sides, tell you what I think about it, and let you make up your mind based on what makes sense for you. But before we dive in, if you want more content like this, hit subscribe, show me some love, and I'll keep making these videos for you. Now for the good stuff. So again, there are two sides to this debate. Yes, we should put the prices on the website, on the sales page, and no, we should not. So I'm going to start with no, and then go into why you might want to. And again, I'll give you my opinion based on my years of experience as a copywriter and business owner, but you take the information and decide for yourself what makes sense. So the number one reason why people don't want to put prices on their website or their sales page is that there needs to be context around a price. So if I show up on your website for the first time, I don't know you or what your specialty is, what your expertise is, how long you've been doing this, how much money you make your clients, and I just see a price that seems kind of high, I might walk away from an offer that was otherwise perfect for me because I didn't have that context. So personally, I think that context can be provided in your marketing. So you can use your marketing to build that know, like, trust so that people know who you are, they know what you offer, they get all of that context, and then when they're ready to buy, they can see that price and they'll know what the price is. That's my thought on it. However, maybe you're not doing a lot of marketing. Maybe most of your stuff is referral based. So that context is really important and it's still not there. You want someone to book a call before you tell them the price. That could be the case. For me, I think you can really provide that context even just on your website, if not in your marketing. Tell them who you are. Tell them why you're qualified to do this thing. Tell them the value of the thing that they're buying, and then show them the price tag. That's my personal thought. The second reason why you might not want to put your prices on your website or your sales page is if you are offering a personalized service that requires you to create a custom proposal. So this actually happens a lot in marketing. My copywriting agency, we have packages that we sell, but a lot of the time they have to be customized for the client. So someone will come in and say, well, I actually need 15 emails, not 10. Or I really only need 7 emails, but could I use a couple of those emails as social posts? So there are different things that we can do based on what the client needs to make sure that the package fits them. And sometimes that price will change based on what they need. So I totally understand this argument. If you have to create a special price, a special package for everyone that comes through the door, then you don't want to tell them a price that might not reflect what they're actually going to pay. However, you can put a price range, or you can use language on your website or your sales page to let them know that that price is just a starting price or it's an average price, and that the actual price they're going to pay may be different. That's what we do with our packages. So we have a price for our package, but there's a lot of language on the website that says we can customize this to fit your needs, so they know that that is not the only one package that they can have. So if that's your concern about putting prices on your website, then you can put a starting price or a price range to just give people an idea of around what it will cost. And another reason why some people don't want to put their price on their sales page or their website is that they don't want their competition to know what they're charging. This is what I don't really understand, because at least in my industry, I have plenty of colleagues that are copywriters or run content marketing agencies like I do, and we all do something a little different. So our ideal client, though it might be similar, is not exactly the same, and there's a better fit based on what the client wants. So for example, my agency specializes in brand voice, so writing copy that sounds like you wrote it, and ethical marketing, so not using manipulative sales tactics in the copy. I have colleagues that specialize in a certain industry, so they create content for wellness service providers like yoga teachers, therapists, whatever. There might also be someone who focuses on e-commerce content. So writing to sell products is totally different than writing for service providers. There are some people that only write B2B, so business to business. There are some people that only write copy that's B2C, business to consumer. And even if it is the exact same service, there's still going to be some differentiator, whether that is price or something else. So if you're in an industry that has stiff competition and this is a concern for you, then maybe you don't want to put your prices on the page. I just don't really understand this particular argument, because it doesn't matter what I charge or someone else charges. That's the rate, and it depends on who's the best fit. So as you can probably tell, I am in the yes camp that you should put your prices on your website. So I'm going to give you the top 3 reasons why I think you should put your pricing on your website or your sales page. Again, some of these might not apply to you, and maybe it makes more sense for you to leave it off. That's up to you. So the number one reason why I think you should put your prices on your website or your sales page is that it helps people make an informed decision. So when you're researching different services, you're looking for information to understand, is this potentially a good fit for this problem I have? So in my case, copywriting. I need a copywriter. Is this copywriter a good fit? So you're going to look at a bunch of different things, but budget is one of those things. And even though we don't like to think about it, that is going to be one thing that determines whether or not someone works with you. So letting them know the price helps them make an informed decision, so they don't have to get on a call with you and then find out they can't afford you. You've just wasted your time and their time. That brings me to number 2, which is that putting your prices on your website can help deter some of the people who are not ready to invest with you. So I have a lot of people that have been on my email list for years. They have let me know that they want to work with me. They're just not at a place yet where they're ready for the investment. And that's great. Love that. They'll come to me when they're ready. But when you have your prices on your site, it helps the buyer know if they are ready to invest in what you're offering. I will say, so I've been a copywriter in one form or another for like 12 years. And the first like 8 or 9 years I was a freelancer and I didn't have a website. So my prices weren't posted anywhere. And during that time, I had a lot of calls with a lot of people who seemed like a great fit. We had a 60-minute chat. It was so great. We liked each other. They wanted me to write the content. And then it came down to the price question and they're like, oh, that's way out of our budget. So I just spent an hour. Not that it's a waste. You got to know someone. They might refer people. But basically, you have made this connection. You've got them all excited to work for you. And then it doesn't ultimately work out because they don't have the money to pay you. So since I have now had a website for a few years, had my prices up there, I've had very few calls where someone comes into the call and their budget is way below what it costs to actually work with me. So if you are constantly finding you're getting on calls with people who cannot afford or don't have the budget or aren't ready to invest in your level of services, then this might help you deter some of those people, have them wait until they're ready to make that investment to contact you. And by deter, I don't mean turn them off from your brand, because like I said, I have a lot of people on my email list who love my content, love the value of the information I'm giving them. They're not ready to invest yet, but they might at some point. I actually had someone that followed me for 2 years before they were ready to invest in a sales page. So I will tell you, it doesn't mean that you're turning people off from your brand or that they'll never buy from you. It's just allowing them to make an informed decision about when the right time to buy is. And the third reason I personally put my prices on my website and my sales pages is because I value transparency. So transparency is one of my personal values. It's one of the agency values. And so being transparent about things means being transparent about your prices. Now, just because a service provider or coach doesn't have their prices on their website or sales page, that doesn't mean that they're sleazy or anything. they can be operating in integrity without being transparent about prices. But if transparency is a value that's particularly important to you, then part of that will be around pricing as well. So I showed you both sides of why you might want to put your prices on your sales page or website and why you might not want to. I'm on team yes, but that doesn't mean you have to be. So just weigh the pros and cons and think about what makes most sense for your business. And if you get stuck while you're working on your sales page, be sure to check out the sales page template at the DIY Copy Shop. The link is in the description. And when you use code YouTube, you get 10% off everything you buy in the shop. There's some really cool templates in there that kind of walk you through how to create a sales page, how to write sales emails, all the things. So check it out, and I'll catch you next time.